Macgybo.
Hi, I'm Macgybo, and today I'm going to be killing all T1 industrials, but with a cruiser. Now certainly whenever I think of killing industrials, I think of the tornado. But what I'm going to be doing today is using two different kinds of cruiser. The first one is the Rupture, and the fit is here. So I'm going with artillery, the 720 howitzer artillery, and I've got 4 of them. I'm throwing in a light missile launcher for a little bit of extra oomph, and finally 3 hammerheads just to finish things off. Now this only works in 0.6 or 0.5 security space because it takes the Concorde that long to get to you. So my ship does have a little bit of tank, but that's to tank the gate guns, hopefully for long enough until I kill my T1 industrial. So I'm in position and almost all ready to go. I have my Rupture on the gate, my scooper who'll scoop the loot also on the gate, but what I want to do is just go to my DST who's going to come down and I'm going to scoop the loot into his fleet hangar, is just open up the fleet hangar and then I'm ready to go. I'm just going to orbit the gate at 500 with my micro warp drive on in case anyone wants to try and kill me and make it a little bit more difficult. Then I have got my deep space transport aligned down to the gate where I'm going to be doing the killing, ready just to walk down to the wreck when it arrives. And finally I've got my scout. Now my scout is in the next system down, and rather like Macgybo in the Rupture, on his overview it has just got T1 industrials. Now I'm looking for T1 industrials that are coming back from Jita down what we call the pipe, which is a series of systems that people tend to go down when they're going back home. The fit that I have here is a passive targeter. Now when that's activated and then I click on a ship, he doesn't know that I'm targeting him. I don't want to spook anybody. Then I've got a cargo scanner and a ship scanner. Now a cargo scanner shows you the cargo and it's 100% accurate. A ship scanner is less accurate. It doesn't show you everything that ship has fit the same way that a cargo scanner would show you everything that was in the cargo. It's hit and miss, and ideally you'd want to get 2 or 3 ship scans to pick up an idea of what is fit in that ship. And what I'm looking for is 2 things. Firstly, does it have a lot of shield across the mid slots? Is there a lot of tank on the ship? And the medium slots are where you find the shield tank modules. The second thing I'm looking for is expanded cargo holds. If someone's put a lot of expanded cargo holds in, it makes the ship weaker. So that's me in place. Now it's just a waiting game. Now I'll just show you how these modules work on this Algos that's autopiloting towards me. So I can see the cargo scan, that's what he's got in his cargo. This is what I got from a ship scan. So it told me some of his modules, not all of them. Now if you've seen my previous ganking videos, what I tend to be doing is sitting on the perimeter gate in Jita, or sitting in the Jita gate and perimeter. Now here we go, here's a hoarder has come through. He's got nothing in his cargo, and the ship scan that I got just told me that he had 3 nanofiber internal structure 2, and what they do is make the ship move faster and be more agile. However, rather like the expanded cargo hold, what it also does is take away some of your hull strength. Now if you've seen some of my ganking videos in the past, you'll know that I often sit on the Jita gate and perimeter, or the perimeter gate and Jita, or the Erlen gate and perimeter, and I try and scan a corvette as it jumps through the gate, and generally I've got to do that within about 2 seconds. Industrials move a little bit slower, so I've got time to scan it, cargo scan it, and ship scan it maybe a couple of times to try and build up a picture of what's in that ship. Now as you'll know, A blockade runner is a kind of hauler that can't be scanned. I can't scan the cargo of this ship, but I can scan to see how it's fit. But generally you won't get a lock on a Viator, on a blockade runner, because they don't usually autopilot like this. Now here's a Terra has come in, which is a kind of T1 industrial, and again it's empty, but if I scan it a couple of times, ship scan it, I can see it's got a medium shield extender, and it had a couple of expanded cargo holds. Despite a couple of scans there, I only saw one medium shield extender. I might be wrong. Think I would have been able to pop that. Now while I remember, I'm going to put my drones out. Not going to be much good in the drone bay. And you can set up your drones so they aggress automatically when you shoot somebody. Now just take another little look at what Magaibo's hoping to do here. When someone jumps through, I want to be able to shoot them with the guns and the missiles, but first thing I want to do, warp disrupt them, stop them warping off. And the moment that I activate those modules, I'm going to be a criminal, and the gate guns are going to start shooting me. And here's another Terra, again empty. What are you guys, you all poor? You've been a cheater and then come back with nothing there? Now again, 3 expanded cargo holds. I did a video about kill all blockade runners, another one about kill all Synesis, and we saw again and again and again that the expanded cargo hold was weakening the ship. And in this case, it's not even needed. The ship is empty. Why do you need to expand the cargo hold if you're not carrying any cargo? It's almost like these pilots want to make their ship weaker. And here's a Hoarder, which is a Minmatar hauler, and it's also empty. Now there are different types of haulers. The T1 Industrial is a very, very basic hauler type. When you create a new character, generally you've automatically got industrial skill. Alpha pilots are only allowed to train up to Industrial 1. But it is something that you're pretty much able to do from day one, is fly an industrial. A lot of people, I think, when they begin, think that because the industrial has such a large cargo bay, that it's so much bigger than frigates that maybe they've flown before, or even a cruiser, that comes with an awful lot more tank, but it doesn't. T1 industrials, straight out the box, are paper thin. And they are perfectly fine to move stuff around in, provided you tank it properly and you don't get silly with the value of the cargo that you're putting in there. Bear in mind that T1 industrials are at most a few million ISK. There's only so much protection that that cheap ship is going to be able to give you. And here's a Terra. So we can see it's got 3 T2 medium shield extenders, and there's a few things that we can tell about this. It's going to have a weak hull, a really weak hull, but it's got a wee bit of a stronger shield. It's only got 77 million in its cargo. That's not really worth shooting, but I still think I may be able to kill that. And I would give it a shot if you had an extra 100 million cargo in there. And here's a Badger here. And the Badger's empty. And again, a Badger empty with expanded cargo holds. He just wants to be able to carry extra of that nothing. And here's a Nereus. Now he's got 124 mil expanded cargo holds, and I didn't get a chance to see if he had any tank in his mediums. But for the sake of the video, we'll give it a shot. San Orti. Let's see if we can kill him when he comes through. So my drones are out. I'll get my guns ready, and I'm just going to overheat my guns. And what that does is it makes them shoot a little quicker. And as soon as San Orti appears, we'll try and blow him up. Where are you, my friend? I'm on the right gate, right? And there he is. Wow, we got through his shield almost straight away. So he's armor tanked. So he is going to go. So what I'm going to do now is just approach the wreck with my scooper and warp to it with my blockade runner. And you'll see that I just need to get a bit closer to my Okator, and then I can drag the loot over. Now that scooper has gone suspect, which means that other people can now attack him, but what I want to do before I get him away is just loot Magaibo's wreck, and then I'll get him away to a station where he can dock up safe, and the same with the Okator. And let's get Magaibo away as well. That's how you gank a T1 Industrial with a cruiser. Should we do it again? Well, first up, let's take a look at what we killed. So the reason that no tank showed up when we did the scan is there was no tank. I'm quite fortunate as well that the thing that was the most valuable with these rigs is what dropped, but let's just take a little look. I thought it took a wee while for him to get through the armour, but he wasn't armour tanked. We got 3 expanded cargo holds. Again, we know this, it makes the ship weak. And we got a Synesis, more expanded cargo holds, 10 Ogre 2s, and these 3 rigs. Let's get a look and see how much all of that's worth. So here's the kill mail on Zkill. It confirms that the loot that dropped was worth 106 million. It's not great, but this ship fit cost me about, well, let's have a look and see. So the ship that I used there, the Rupture, was 31 million. So I'm up. Right, let's get out and do another one. So while I was serving out my criminal timer there, I got a conversation request from the person I've just killed. It was Russian. I didn't understand it, but according to Google Translate, he was asking me several times if I was a homosexual, which has confused me somewhat. I can't think of anything that I did when I was killing him that was dependent upon any particular sexuality or sexual orientation. But by the time that I'd managed to translate that, he'd left the conversation. But seemed like a nice enough chap. So again, I just need to remember to open up the fleet hangar from my looter, launch drones, and approach the gate with my blockade runner. I've got my scout in place, so now let's just wait for another happy Russian to turn up, or really anyone from any country, provided that they're flying a T1 Industrial with lots of goodies and a very poor tank. This is possibly more relaxing than ganking the way that I normally do, because it's unlike when you're looking at something that's coming through a gate. You've got a fair bit of time to prepare here, because once you've identified a target, he's got to warp all the way across the solar system and jump through a gate. It isn't like getting a frigate who's autopiloting towards you, or a ship that's just jumped through a gate where everything's like boom boom boom. This is chill. It's relaxing. I think I might have been referring to my loot ship, the one that flies down, as a blockade runner. It isn't. It's a deep space transport. They're the ones that have the fleet hangar. Now here's a badger. Wow. Wow! Now look at that tank. But he's got an Athenor on board. Wow. Okay. So his rigs is all shield, all shield, all shield. Shield, 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 shield. Shield, shield. But it's an Athenor. But it's got shield, 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 shield. But it's an Athenor. But they're only medium shields. Right. I've got to do it. His name is Kageto. And we're going to do it. We're going to go for it. We're not going to get this kill. We're not going to get this kill. But I can't let it go by. Because it's an Athenor. That's a kind of player-owned structure. It's a station. And there he is. Now I'm hardly even going to make a dent in his shield, am I? Just burn the guns. No, look. No, his shield's going to be absolutely fine. But it was an Athenor. I had to try. But there, this is still something that's still quite new to me, so I'm learning the limits of what I can and can't do here. Apparently what I can't do is kill a ship with an Athenor on board. Oh well, there'll be another. So I'm just setting up to go again. This time I'm using a Vexer, which is another cruiser. It's a Galente cruiser. And it's traditionally a drone boat. That's where its bonuses lie. I have got 4 rail guns with antimatter, a sensor booster, a shield, 2 warp disruptors, damage control, a reactor control unit that allows me to fit everything, magnetic field stabilizers which give my guns more oomph, and a drone damage amplifier. What drones? I'm taking out 3 sentries. And sentries are a kind of drone which just sit there really. They don't move around like other drones, they just stay wherever you leave them. But they're quite powerful. I'm just going to get in position, stick on my sensor booster and launch my drones. And that's me ready to go. Oh, once I get my overview set right. So let's just wait for some juicy target to come our way. Now I shouldn't forget as well, I've got to not activate my guns, overheat my guns. And that means that they'll run their cycles a little quicker, which is something that you don't really worry about when you're an alpha ganker. An alpha ganker being someone who just shoots and then gets concorded. If you're going for a second or a third cycle, then that overheated gun, it matters a lot. It means you're going to get more damage done before you eventually get blown up by the gate guns. Now one of the things you've got to watch out for is this, an Osprey. What the anti-gankers down here do is they fly a ship called an Osprey, which is great for doing remote shield boosting, and then if they see that I'm attacking a ship, they'll give it a remote shield boost, which means that I can't kill it. So that first ship that I killed, if I had an Osprey given it that shield boost, I wouldn't have been able to crack its tank. But he gave me a bit of a shield boost and then disappeared again. Well, hopefully he won't be back. And here's an Epithal. It's only got 19mm on board. And from the one scan that we got there, we saw it's got large and medium shield extenders. We're not going to shoot at it for 19 million, and it looks like he's shipping trade items around, which are items that really don't have any value other than if you're doing trade missions or running trades to sell stuff that the NPCs sell and buy. And miasmos. Empty. So many empty ships. Which is really strange. It's like looking at car boots as they come away from the mall to find out that they're all empty and nobody's bought anything. What's the matter with you guys? Maybe it's just the poor pilots who are out today. Now if I had one more character, what I could be doing, and I wouldn't advocate this at the moment, you don't need 5 characters to go ganking. Oh my gosh, look at these. These guys have just jumped through. So this Iteron here, Lanternen, I did 2 scans on him and all I got is a micro auxiliary power core. But he's got lots of booster drug stuff worth 187 million. Lanternen, you are our next target. My wardens, my guards are ready. My warp disruptors are ready, and I need to make sure that I'm clicking on the right pilot because there was 2 haulers coming through at the same time. So it was Lanternen that looked like there he is there. So let's give it a bash. Right the way through his shield, and it's not looking good for him. And he's down, so I'll just move to the wreck and get my looter, my Okator, to come down to the wreck and just open it up. And as the Okator comes down, you can see it there. Just want to move back to the Okator and drag everything over to it. And now I'm just going to approach Magaibo's wreck again. And we'll just loot that. Oh, bumped off the gate. And then get to the station. And let's get Mac to the station as well. Now let's see exactly what dropped. Well, it looks like some of this stuff didn't drop, and we'll just get a look at the fit first. Look at this. 187 million cargo, and that's the fit of his ship. No tank at all. He's got a small ancillary armor repairer, which is an active tank, but he's not going to be able to tank me or anyone who's trying to gank him with a small armor repairer. How old is this character? Oh my god, he's 13 years old and he's flying an Iteron Mark V with that fit. Shame! So if we look at this, 80 million dropped, 91 million didn't, and that fit. No rigs, no shield, just no armor, no attempt to look after their cargo at all. Oh dear. Do you know what? Whatever it is that you do in EVE Online today, I'm pretty sure that it'll be better than that. So one of the points I was making there before that all kicked off is that what you could do if you had another pilot or another alt is have a look at ships coming the other way. So if it came to it, you could warp to another gate and get them if they were coming from a different direction but still going through the same system. I know that there are some people who do that, but that's 5 alts, and really you don't need 5 to go ganking. Although you could probably quite easily make an argument for 5 or 10 or in some cases 30, as we've seen with some of the fleets that kill freighters. So far, touch wood, we've not had any interference from loot thieves, and only one passing anti-ganker, which is the complete opposite of what we see in Jita and even Perimeter, where there's a whole industry, a whole ecosystem built up of parasites who live off the products the things that gankers leave behind, whether it's loot or wrecks, kill rights. And of course gankers are just slightly further up the food chain, in that they're the ones who are stealing stuff that other people have brought along into the system. Here is an Iteron. Now that's a fairly decent tank, and he's only got 92 mil here, so I think we're going to leave this one, because I'm sure that we can get a richer, less experienced pilot, which is the ganker's creed really. Look for the weak pilot who likes to spend far too much money when he hasn't really learned how to fit his ship yet. And if you gank for long enough, you will find plenty of them. And here's a Nereus. Now we see it's got faction shield recharges, and that's not really going to help it that much, but the shield extender will, and it's between the medium, the faction shield extender, and the small one, and the fact that he's got a shield rig, and then he's got a rig for the hull as well. So he's got a rig which increases his hull at the expense of cargo capacity, and then he's got an expanded cargo hold that increases cargo capacity at the expense of hull. Oh dear. It's a bit of a push me pull me fit. And there's a wreath. Well tanked, not much cargo. Of no interest to me whatsoever. So thanks for watching the Kill All Industrial video this far. I did film another 20 minutes to half an hour of another kill, but unfortunately it corrupted. The video corrupted. It's inevitable that it's going to happen when you're making videos. I'm surprised it took this long, to be honest, but I have the world's worst EVE Online setup, and therefore the world's worst EVE Online streamer or YouTuber setup. It may be the case that in the near future I'm going to set up a Patreon and do some exclusive videos to try and get money to do a decent setup, so the video quality will be a lot better and we won't end up with embarrassing apologies at the end of the videos like this one. Hopefully you saw enough in the Kill All Industrial video so far to have picked up some stuff and been entertained. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye now.